Replace your business card with an Is the City Success card. This card uses modern technology to directly connect with clients so you never get lost in the clutter like other platforms. With a simple tab or scan, you can immediately share contact information. The Success card also allows you to share what you do best on the Is the City platform. Personalize your profile, add videos and galleries, products and services, post your deals and events, get discounts on services tailored to entrepreneurs, and more. Use a platform that is designed for small businesses. Success is just a tap away. Order now.
All right. Hello, everybody. Good people. It is another fabulous month with our fantastic mayor, Mr. Ron Nirenberg. How you doing, my friend?
Doing great. Thanks for having me on, Neka.
Yes, it's always a pleasure. Now, next month, we got to social distance, but we got to see each other.
I think we're getting pretty close to that.
Yeah,
things are looking good out there, by and large. So things are starting to come back to life again.
Let's go ahead and just start off with that because, if anything, with every subject out there, there's two sides. Right. I don't think we're going to get anybody to fully agree on anything. Yeah. So you've got the folks that want this city back open and want to start working again. And then you have the people that say too soon. And we see every day how you're navigating through that. But in your own feelings, like, how do you navigate through that?
It's tough, but I think we have to all agree that in order for us to have a long and successful future and a strong economy again, we've got to open up in a way that is permanent. We don't want to have to walk backwards again and go back into restrictions and have to close things back up because there's outbreaks. So there's a way to open up that even if we sort of take our time and be careful about it, it will give us some longevity. And so that's why we brought together people from the business community as well as our health experts to kind of set the table and figure out how can we, first of all, when can we open up? What kind of data and conditions out in the community can we see? And then as we open up, how can we do it so we make it long lasting and we don't have to do it, go backwards into restrictions again. And the way we can do that is to be careful. We can be thoughtful. We can watch the data. Don't rush too fast and, continue to make steps forward, even if it's not as fast as we would like. It's better to be completely open in 6 months for the long term than it would be to try to open everything up real fast. And all of a sudden we're back 6 months from now with a major outbreak and everybody's shut down again. Let's take it. Let's be thoughtful and open up carefully. And so we can do this once. We only have to go through this pain once.
So you said before we went on that we are actually one of the cities that's doing pretty good. What is that?
Really well.
What does that mean? What does really well mean?
Well, if you look at the different data and studies that are showing how cities are performing, we're one of the best in the country, really, and certainly here in Texas, in terms of our infection rates per capita, per 100,000 people. And people will quickly say, well, that's one thing, but are you testing enough? Well, in fact, we've tested as well as any city in Texas. In fact, we've already tested over 40,000 people here in San Antonio. We have the capacity to test almost 2,000 people per day. We're not reaching 2,000 people per day because there hasn't been that demand, but we're targeting, and we're actually trying to pull people out and get tested. And reminding them that they don't need a doctor, they don't need money, they don't need health care, and they don't even need symptoms anymore. We've made the test open, available to people that don't have symptoms. They hope there's a reason to have tests, but, that you've been exposed or you have symptoms, but anyone can get a test. We also are seeing great capacity and being maintained in our hospital system, so we have the ability to treat people if they do become infected. And we have a great plan. We've got a great team of people from all over the community that have put together a plan for us to open up in stages, mindful of the data, but also doing so in a way where we know that if infections occur in the community, even as we open up, and they will, because there's no way this virus will totally go away until there's a vaccine, but we now have all of the pieces put in place to where we can identify where infections are happening, we can track them to their sources, and we can isolate them. All of those are the conditions that we've been working to build over the last couple of months since all of this began to make sure that once we do get back in easing into life again, that we'll be able to control this infection even if it's out there.
Yeah. So really, as far as like the people that we have infected in San Antonio, our hospitals are good. Are we all in? Are they good? They have enough people. They have enough ventilators. They have enough stuff.
Yeah, that's all this talk about. Flattening the curve. Flattening the curve was really about making sure, and it still is about making sure that as the infections occur in San Antonio, they don't accelerate so fast that it overwhelms our medical capacity to treat people who are sick.
Right.
We've been able to do that because we've been practicing social distancing and infection control. We've been avoiding mass gatherings and things like that. And so we've flattened the rate of increase of cases. In addition to that, we've been able to make sure that there's enough hospital beds, there's enough ICUs, there's enough ventilators. If, in fact, it does accelerate and goes, the infections occur very quickly, we've got enough to treat people. Thankfully, that really hasn't happened, but we can project out now based on the rate of infection that we will have that capacity. Now, all of this is dependent upon everyone doing their best not to spread the virus out in the community, even as things open up, which is why people need to wear masks when they're, out and about and within 6 feet of someone that's not in their house. It's why we need to continue to avoid mass gatherings, and, do simple things like washing your hands and other sanitation. That's pretty common sense.
That's doing that, and we can continue to rise above. So I guess the biggest issue, since we are doing a good job and we want to continue to have people staying at home and keeping social distance, wearing these masks, the biggest issue right now hasn't been, well, I'll say a lot of the talk of the biggest issue is the fall of the economic dollar and sickness that's going on with our small businesses. In fact, I was so sad to see, Mayor, we had one of our fantastic restaurants that was opened up right over on 35 not too long ago. I want to say probably about 7 to 8 months ago. And there's a sign that's, for lease now. And it just broke my heart that, that they weren't able to survive through this thing. But
it's one of the last places I had lunch before we ended up not being able to go out and have lunch again.
Yeah. So you know what I'm talking about.
The kitchenette.
So that made me sad. They also were the owner of Tucker's at one point. They live on the east side. The wife's, born and raised over here on the east side. Great husband, just great family. So that was sad. I know that there's help out there, I guess, to say what is the best things that we can do to continue to try to get it, apply for it. I know money runs out quick. It's just,
So there has been a federal program for small business relief. We now have been allocated local money to fill in the gaps of our economic crisis that is looming. So there's 4 places that we're concentrating on. First one is housing assistance. Make sure people have roofs over their heads. The second one is making sure that we deal with small business relief. So we're in the process working with the county and the city and the small business community to create a small business grant program probably similar to the PPP, where small businesses can apply for funds to help basically get through this rough period. We're also working to make sure that people have access to food, obviously, and then another one is the digital divide. So many people are dependent on the internet, and there's not universal internet access here. In fact, we have one of the worst digital divides in the country. So we're working on relief measures there. But I do want to point out our rental and housing assistance program, the very basic keeping shelter in place for people, is one of the best in the country. We work together with the county. We had a fund set up before this pandemic started, and we put it on steroids to make sure that there's a relief source of funds for people who aren't able to make their rent because they've been out of work or because the COVID-19 has hit them. So they can go to sanantonio.gov/emergency housing assistance. And there's a simple application form there. They can fill it out. We can also you can pick up the phone and call 311 if you need housing assistance. On the small business side, though, we're putting together that fund right now. We want to deploy it ASAP this summer.
So I want you to do me a favor, just as someone that we do our monthly stuff. Let me know. I mean, I'm sure I'm going to listen in on the council meeting and be like, okay, it's here, it's approved. But so I can make sure that my small businesses definitely over here on our side of
For
town,
sure.
my small African-American businesses and my female businesses have that information and are able to get in line. Because like you said, there's a lot. There's
Yeah.
never enough money for everybody. And we want to make sure that everybody at least has a proper time to get ready and see if they can get some help.
Yeah, and let me be really clear. Our focus and our effort, it has to be on the small business, the entrepreneurs, the small mom and pop businesses that are out there that are really struggling, not the big corporations that have gotten the relief from the federal government. We need to focus on our grassroots business community that needs the help the most.
And look at some of the solopreneur. I don't know if that's a legal word yet, but those people that have to wear literally 8 hats because we don't have no employees.
Yeah, those are small businesses too.
Okay.
Those are the smallest businesses, proprietors. Yeah,
small.
absolutely.
Yeah, because that we always think about that. It's like, and I'm always thinking a business that has 3 to 4 employees, they need to be taken care of first because they're helping other families. It's just me.
That's right.
You know, I can go to every food drive that's open
Yeah.
if I need to.
And,
you know,
and let me also say this. You know, when we get out of the health crisis, then the economic crisis really begins, and you know it's tough. We shouldn't be in a position of having to choose between people's health, their lives, and the economy. You know, I know which one we would choose if that were actually the case, but this isn't that choice. What we need to be clear about, and what the economic transition team and the health transition team, what they're very clear on, is that you can't have one without the other. You know, people need livelihoods in order to live healthful lives, but we also need to have healthy people in order to build an economy. So when we are starting to open up, but be mindful, be thoughtful, because when we open up, we want to make sure it's grounded in health. We do it in a safe way so people can restore customer confidence. It's one thing to open a business. It's another thing to get people to patronize it. And part of that process is making sure people feel comfortable, safe, employees feel safe, and they're taken care of. And that's our effort. Yeah.
And I like that. And I don't even know, I wasn't paying attention to exactly how people were voting yesterday, because I know that there was a proposition on the table to help renters and stuff that didn't pass. But one of my biggest issues about that even proposal was what was going to happen to people 5 months down the road. You know, we've got to think of things that are going to build people up to where we don't go backwards, to where we don't turn around and owe someone $5,000, to where we don't get to a point to where like, oh, there's no way out now. You know what I'm saying? We need to figure out ways to build people. And I hate to use the reference, but again, to reteach people how to fish so they can get out there and do it. You know?
That's the right analogy though. And you know, I've been adamant about the fact that we can't be willing to go back to normal, because normal in this community was one in which 60,000 families every week needed the food bank to put food on their table. You know, normal in this community was 3% unemployment, but 20% poverty. Normal in this community was over a quarter of children being born into poverty. That's not the normal that we need to go back to. Let's go back. Let's be better than that. So as we start putting these programs in place, let's make sure they're targeted to the right places so we build up our small business community. Let's make sure that, you know, we're establishing ways for people to get careers that will be long lasting and that they can have upward mobility. Let's make sure that we have programs in place that help their kids to go to not just graduate from high school, but get degrees that will put them into careers that they'll love and be able to transform their lives. So
you can start on second chance housing. I want people to start on second chance housing, but I don't want them to stay on second chance housing. You know what I'm saying? Like,
absolutely.
We need to constantly be making people better. So I want to also see programs that do that and don't just Band-Aid a situation.
Right. Yeah. This can be more than just a revitalization. This can be a resurrection for the city.
Yes, 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 yes. Okay, so look, questions. You know that there's questions. Okay, please explain this. And I know this is hard because Hunted, my man, is the main person. You have to explain to the people that some people, business-wise, they have the right to put no shirt, no shoes, no mask, no service.
That's right.
You know what
Yes,
I'm saying?
they have the right to do that.
Explain why, if you can.
Because your business is your private property, and with few exceptions, you write the rules. There are rules related to discrimination that people have to follow, even if they're operating their own business, and that's a good thing. But you can demand that patrons and employees are conducting themselves safely, just like you wouldn't allow someone into a restaurant without shoes on and without clothes on. You can tell them they have to come in here and wear a mask. It's especially important when you know that there's a virus going out that there's not a cure for. So you have the authority, and it's consistent with the governor's order, and it's consistent with our local orders, that if you are a business, you can require a mask to be worn to walk into your establishment. And protesting that requirement, even though it's an act, it may be considered an act of free speech, does not confer you a right to trespass on a business. It doesn't confer you a right to disrupt a business, and it doesn't confer you a right to assault someone. So if the business is asking you to wear a mask, you have to wear a mask.
You have to wear a mask or go to another business, right?
Exactly.
At the end of the day. Grow
Exactly.
your own corn. Okay, I know. I have some other questions. Let me see. I'm literally, um, okay, so someone says that we need to do a better job on how to um, educate the renters on how to apply for assistance. So I know that there's a lot of different suggestions and programs that are out there to get information to the doorsteps of the people. You want to tell them a little bit about that real quick?
Yeah, and that's why I pointed out that website. If you go to sanantonio.gov/emergency housing assistance,
Mm-hmm.
there's a step-by-step process. It will walk you through how to apply for it, whether you're eligible for it, etc. If you prefer to talk to someone about that, we have people standing by. You can call 311, and we're trying to make it as simple as possible. In fact, the bulk of the effort that we went through beyond just funding that, which it was at $1 million, by the way, before this pandemic started, we put 25 million in, and we're not done. We're gonna increase it because that's the basic essentials for this community.
Right.
So the bulk of the process, though, was eliminating those administrative hurdles, making it easier for people to apply. So we've got people standing by for that.
Okay. Awesome. 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 All right. Someone asked, there's a lot of stuff about as far as like the government, how the government goes, and then how you as the mayor feel. I know at the end of the day, his stuff is like what we have to follow, but yet you kind of go in and see how you can protect the city a little bit more. Right now, everything pretty much aligns to what the governor's doing, right?
Yeah, we've been aligned and in compliance. Now, the governor, I've been pretty clear. I think that as these phases of opening start, we need to have data to support it. And our health team and CDC and every health professional out there says there's certain criteria you need to meet before you start opening up. And we didn't have the data to support how things were being opened up so quickly. But just so happens our condition in San Antonio, we do have data and we are in good shape. So as long as people are mindful of the guidance that we're providing, the judge and I and our community, our health professionals, as long as they're mindful and observing that, we should be able to continue to be okay and open things up and start our economy again. But that's why it's really important for folks to pay attention to what the health professionals are saying.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like wearing a mask any more than the next person, but it's necessary for us to slow down the spread of this virus. I don't like to have to wash my hands every 2 minutes, but it's necessary if we're going to slow the spread of this infection. I want to go to the concert this summer that now has been canceled, but, it's one of those things that we're just going to have to live without for a while if we're going to continue to open up and enjoy life. So be mindful of the public health guidance that we're providing every day, and, let's be thoughtful. Just because the governor says it's okay doesn't mean it's the right thing to do for us. Let's be thoughtful about it. And people have been doing the right thing, not because they've been ordered or mandated to do it, but because they trust our health professionals and they trust the medical experts, and that's what we want to continue.
I like it. So someone, now, we talked to, I think this week, I said I feel like I'm at the meeting. I'll be like there, I'll be in it. And I'm really sitting on my couch, but I'll be in it.
You should have been there.
I know. So, but there was talking about how free testing, pull-up testing, because this was actually the Tuesday meeting. Okay. They're talking about the free testing spots that will now be in District 2 and 3. And is that happening right now?
It's happening right now. Opens up at 10. And I believe they go through 2:30, sometimes longer, whenever the crowds die down and the tests run out. But it is at Claude Black and at Southside Lions right now. So those are part of the pop-up testing sites that are moving around the city. They'll be there. They were there yesterday. They'll be there today. They'll be there tomorrow. And then they're going to be moving around a little bit more. And that's one of the efforts to try to go to places where we know there just hasn't been a whole lot of demand for the test, to make sure that the tests are available. Maybe the demand is because people just aren't aware of it. So we're putting them right out in front of everybody.
Yeah. So what's different? And again, I guess that's what that is. That's so people are right there and they know it can come to you. But where are other places that you can get tested for free?
Oh, it's all over the place in San Antonio. Okay. There's over 40 sites, private providers. The Freeman Coliseum is our big drive-through site. We've got, clinics, Tex Med Clinic, Centro Med, Communicare. There's a Walmart on 151 is doing it on the west side. There's a ton of places doing testing. You can go and see a map of all the testing locations and find one near you at covid19.sanantonio.gov.
I love it. Okay, so we got that. We got the sites. Somebody wants to know if you've ever considered running for governor.
No. No.
You haven't thought about it?
God willing, and if the people will have me, I would love to serve my full terms as mayor. That would be my goal.
The ultimate goal right there. Well, you are doing a fantastic job, and I'm going to let you go early so you can prepare for your next meeting that's happening literally in 9 minutes. You're going to do, this is is it a month? Is it a quarterly briefing?
The SAGE East Side business briefing. It's an annual event. Last year, I think the last few years, it's been at the Spire.
Yeah.
Yeah. But, obviously, I'm here.
Right. We're not at the Spire today.
I need to put a piece of art back here or something so it doesn't look like...
I know. I would send you a picture of me, but I think that might be a little egotistical on my end.
I'll put something back there next time.
Put something back there, like I love my city or something like that. Something like that.
I think that's a 200-year-old brick wall, though. I'm in the Plaza de Armas building.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Look, I'm like, I don't know how much brick cost after 200 years. I don't.
I could be off by a century, but I think it's 200.
That's good stuff. We got to preserve things like this, my friend. So look, let me tell you something. I'm going to brag on the East Side real fast because we're doing great things. My boy Nino Andrade, who lives over here on Denver Heights, is about to feed over 1,000 people drive-through feeding sausage and brisket tacos with chips and soda. Yes.
Wow.
And so we'll be over here. That will be our fourth giveaway at the hub during all of this situation. We've given away masks, over 70 masks with Nicole Garza. We've given away over 4,200 barbecue plates with Tyrone Polk. We've given away so much great stuff. It's been, and dare me to say it's been fun, but I love helping people, right? So being able to just do stuff is great, but we've had people feed the nursing home. Our businesses have stepped up and fed up for the nursing home. It's been great. Jose Hoffman, shout out to him. He's been feeding people over off WW White. It's been great.
So that's totally San Antonio. Thank you for all you're doing, Neka. And wouldn't it be great because we do that. That's how San Antonio responds to
Mhm.
our neighbors in need. If we just make sure that as we get out of this immediate crisis, that we remember that every day here in San Antonio there are neighbors in need, and that we build a city where that is the mantra going forward. Let's have that energy every single day and build a city where there are fewer people that need that assistance on a daily basis.
I love it. Okay, well, we will keep in touch because if I get any questions, you know I'm going to call.
You have my number.
I got it. Man, so much good luck with everything.
Thanks,
Keep doing a great job. All of that good stuff. I believe that you are doing everything in your heart and in your power to protect the people of this city and put them first. And I see that and I appreciate that. So we'll see. We'll talk soon.
Sounds good. Have a good one, Neka. Thank you. Bye, Lisa.
Bye-bye. She's in the corner. Thank you, B. Michelle, and Is the City. We appreciate the broadcast. We'll see y'all soon.
Replace your business card with an Is the City success card. This card uses modern technology to directly connect with clients so you never get lost in the clutter like other platforms. With a simple tab or scan, you can immediately share contact information. The success card also allows you to share what you do best on the Is the City platform. Personalize your profile, add videos and galleries, products and services, post your deals and events, get discounts on services tailored to entrepreneurs, and more. Use a platform that is designed for small businesses. Success is just a tap away. Order now.